Another one.
So this one says, interview today. I have an interview today for a QA analyst role. If anybody is willing to help me, please private message me. So this one should be a quick one, right? Let's put our timer up. So this is a lack of preparation, right? Are you telling me that you the day that you got, like the same day that you found out about that you're making this post is when you found out about the interview? Usually interviews are scheduled like you have a few days to get ready for an interview, right? It's not the day of that you're like, can anybody help me get prepared to have an interview today? Right? A lack of preparation. And that goes back to the theme of our Monday Cabinet conversations. A lack of preparation is why we continue to lose. See, I think a lot of people they like to they just like to, like, when you are able to answer a question, you just like to answer it because you can and because you have the knowledge. But I like to also address the underlying root behind why we're getting these questions. Why is the day of you're asking for help, and why haven't you been preparing all this time? Why haven't you been practicing interviews? And here's the thing. When people practice for interviews, you have to treat it like it's 100% the real thing. You have to get the pressure. Because and when I do interview preparations, I go into interview mode, and it is an intense interview that I'm doing for whoever I'm doing the interview preparation for, right? But it's an intense interview because they need to feel the pressure of an interview. They need to take it seriously. So because I've done it with people before, and like, because they might know me, right? So they come into it laughing, and I'm like, I have a stern look on my face, like, because when I'm doing interviews, I don't give any. I keep a stoic look. I don't give any emotions, any type of feedback, right? I might think you're doing great, but you're not going to see it on my face, right? You might be doing terrible. You're also not going to see it on my face, and that's why it's essential to take your interviews serious, like your interview preparation seriously. If you're getting ready to, like, if you're applying and you're getting ready to start interviewing, you have to practice. You have to prepare, and it's not about, oh, I'm just reading some interview questions and all this type of stuff. No, you have to put yourself in those tough spots to answer the question that you might be comfortable with, like reciting it to yourself and stuff like that. But here's a question for you, right? If you're reading questions for an interview, right, for like interview prep, and you can answer them, and you can like regurgitate those answers. But what if I take one of those questions you've practiced and I slightly modify it, right? You start to stumble, fall, or are you able to pivot on the spot, right? Are you able to adjust? Are you able to call an audible? And that's why it goes also back to the the certification question, right? Because when you have that linear view of this is the it's like robotic, right? This is the question, this is the answer. But if you're built like AI, where whatever question you get fed in, you can adjust it by taking it back out, right? So that's the part that matters, right? You have to prepare, and it's not preparing the day of. If you try to prepare the day of, you've already lost a job. If you're not preparing now for interviewing, even if you're not getting any responses, right? If you're not preparing now, knowing what you're going to wear. Like, so if we're doing a mock interview, right? And you show up in a t-shirt, you're not serious about it. You're not serious about where you want to be. You have to be prepared at all times. Everything you do is an interview. Always be prepared. Right? So like the day you start applying is the day you start preparing for interviews. Because what if you apply today and then you get a call tomorrow? You're not ready. And now that could have been the job for you, but because you weren't prepared, you miss out. It doesn't, like, we do so many things that go against what's in our favor because let's say your resume wasn't good, right? So now you get your resume fixed up and everything like that, but you didn't prepare for interviews. So now you start stumbling. Like they ask you some basic questions, and now you're fumbling, you're stuttering, and all this. And now they're wondering, like, does this person really know the stuff that they have listed on their resumes? Because especially when I'm interviewing, right? And if I ask you something that's on your resume, and I don't really ask that much about, like, let's say you put a skill, right? About let's say you put Cypress, right? I'm not gonna drill down into like all the itty bitty pieces of Cypress and stuff like that. But if you have something listed on your job history, right? And I ask you about it, and you start to fumble and everything like that, then I'm like, I don't think this person is they're not. I don't believe them, right? It sounds shady. Because if you did it, then you should be able to articulate it. But maybe you can articulate it because you didn't properly prepare. Think about it, right? Think about it. Every day is preparation for what lies ahead. Every day is preparation for next week, next month, next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 20 years. That's how long you have to look in advance. Because the decisions we make today will affect our future. All right? So that is that question.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos. Enigmatic Joker.